head coach of Ball State University. Love saying that. Mike, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Cannot complain. Good to have you on. First time. Is this the first time as I can't? I know. I think we had you on after you got the job, but midway through the season, you guys just came off of a 7-game winning streak. You're midway through your first season. What's it like being the head guy now? You're in the midst of your first season.
It's a lot of work, a lot of fun. You know, it's probably everything that I anticipated being, and then some. We got a really good group of guys. I've got an outstanding staff. And we're just trying to build a program that this university and the community and the state of Indiana can be proud of.
And a lot of noise coming out of Muncie. Like I said, the 7-game winning streak. I know you lost the last time out, but uh, 11-5 right now overall. So things trending up in Muncie. A lot of people are happy. You've created some buzz up there. I've seen you making commercials, getting the students out, getting your acting chops going. How was that making those? First of all, how's that being the guy that has to make the commercials?
Well, I tell you, like when you're trying to build a program and you want to build it to the right way and the way that we want to and become the program that we eventually want to become, it takes everybody. And it takes the whole village, and you got to do a little bit of everything. And we've we've had some really good reception, here from the community and from the state. Um, Very happy that we've been able to put out a product on the floor that competes and plays and shows some toughness and some heart um, that Indiana basketball fans like and enjoy and appreciate. We've been able to win a few games here as of late that helps continue to build on some of that, and we still got a long way to go. But we've had a lot of support. The community's come out. We're working on getting the students. We're slinging free concessions, free beer, the whole thing, but it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun to see the community get behind this team because I think this team has played in a way that they deserve that. And so, we were here early in our conference season. We got off to a good start. Kind of tripped up the other night at Ohio that I think we're all disappointed about. But this team has really grown in a lot of ways over a short period of time. And the exciting thing for me as a coach is I still feel like there's a lot of growth left in this team, and this can be a team that really begins the whole process of what we're trying to get done here in Muncie and building a program, like I said, that this university and community and the state as a whole can be proud of.
And I know it's hard for you to answer this question since this is your first time being a head coach, but I'm going to assume the first year is the hardest year because you come in and you haven't recruited the guys that you basically are coming into a pro job. You're dealing with the players you've been dealt. How hard is that to start with a program that you had nothing to do with recruiting any of the players, nothing to do with the players that you have? I don't mean anything like that, but I'm just saying the challenge of that.
Yeah, well, like you said, I don't know any different. This is what we had, and it's even though there were some people on the roster, like we had Peyton Sparks and Jalen Sellers and Bashir Jihad were in the transfer portal. They even though they were here last year, they would already put their names in the portal, and we were able to get those young men out of the portal. So we had to re-recruit them to Ball State and sell them on what we wanted to accomplish um, as a program, how we wanted to go about it, how they could help us do that. And obviously, we're really pleased that they decided to stay and be Cardinals. And then, we added a few recruits of our own to go along with what was here. And, like the biggest thing that I can, those guys, I got to give them all a ton of credit because, for a young group to go through a coaching change, it's not easy. Like they didn't, half of these guys did not sign up to play for me. They signed up to play for somebody else and to be open to change, be willing to change, and to go about the things that we're asking them to do that we feel like lead to winning. It's been great to see these guys experience some success.
I'm sure they're enjoying it and having fun as well. And you mentioned earlier about different ways of getting the crowds out, free beer, free concessions. Can you imagine back when you were in college if they were offering free beer to you, the students, or to any of us? I'm like,
I might have been in the
beer,
student
period.
section instead of on the court.
I'm telling you, man. I'm like, it's just amazing. Even now, when I walk by someone, but I realized Indiana played at Xavier earlier this year, and they're considered to Indiana, they're smaller, but it's the venue. It seems like these places, and I would probably put Muncie in that, have almost become a social gathering. These games, because of the advent of having beer and things like that, they're becoming social gatherings, and that benefited. I thought it benefited Xavier with the crowds and things like that. I don't know if you're seeing that or if
Yeah, I
that's
mean
part of what you're
that's
doing.
what we're trying to build. We've got a little pocket of here in East Central Indiana that obviously loves their basketball, and we play during a time of the year where it's not real great to be outside, and so why can't we have the throw the biggest party in town once a week in Worthen Arena? Why can't we be the place in Muncie to be seen? And let's be that social gathering. Let's be the place to be, once a week, and let's continue to get out there and put ourselves out there from a marketing perspective, and try to turn it into that. And we have to do our part as a basketball program. We got to go out there and compete in a way that people want to watch. We need to have some success, which we're in the middle of doing, and we've got to continue to do that. But you got to put a product out there on the floor that people enjoy watching and want to get behind and want to support. And a lot of credit has to go to our players for playing a style of basketball that the people here in Indiana appreciate. And they've really grown from a toughness standpoint. They're playing hard, competing. We've had some victories where we've had to come from behind, where things weren't necessarily going our way and weren't the prettiest, but they found a way. And it's been a cool experience to watch these guys grow up from the time that we got here as a staff until now, and of having some success. And you first, you got to learn how to win, and then you got to learn how to handle success. And we got a dose of reality the other night at Ohio, and we're looking to bounce back from that. But getting back to your point, there's no reason why. The social gathering. There's no reason why we can't be the place to be once a week here in Muncie, Indiana.
When it comes to recruiting, what's the difference between recruiting as the head coach instead of recruiting for the head coach?
Well, I haven't really approached it that much different. I think it's I think in today's era, these guys want true and honest relationships and with the head coach, and that doesn't come through the assistants. And our staff has done a great job of recognizing players that they feel like fit, and bringing guys to me that I need to recruit. And so I'm probably not recruiting the mass number that I did as an assistant, but I'm just as heavily involved in the recruiting. Um, as I was. It's just a little bit more dialed in and focused, because I think that's huge with today's players is the relationship with the head coach. And I just try to be me and who I am, and very honest in my evaluations and my expectations. And I don't want a kid to come here to Ball State and be here for 2 months and be like, Coach, you didn't tell me it was going to be like this. Like, I want to tell them exactly how it's going to be, what our expectations are, how we're going to go about working towards winning. And I don't want there to be any surprises. They can say a lot of things about our program, but I don't want them to ever say one of our coaches lied to them. And so, we've had a lot of success. Each one of our assistants had a lot of success doing it that way. I've had a lot of success from a recruiting standpoint in doing it that way, and just really believe in true, clear, honest communication. And I think that is huge in the recruiting world today. There's too many people, in my opinion, that are scared to tell young people the truth these days, and I think they crave that.
Why is that, Mike, that you think that there are guys that aren't able to be completely honest?
Well, I think people are scared of the transfer. Like, they're scared of kids changing high schools. They're changing colleges, switching AAU teams. And I don't feel like you can win any other way. And so I just believe in being honest from the beginning. This program's not for everybody. Program X isn't for everybody. Like, you got to find what fits. And I think too many people are just don't want to tell these kids the truth. And then when they get hit with the truth for the first time and they experience a little bit of adversity, they run. That's all they know. And I think it's just a different time, and it's okay to fail. And it's what are you going to do about it? What do you learn from it? How do you grow from it? And there's a lot of different factors that go into that, whether it's adults and their communication with young people. It's hard for me to relate. I didn't grow up worrying about how many hearts or likes or retweets I got. And kids are growing up in a society now where that's where they put all their self-worth in how many people like their posts, or they get angry, or that friendships are ruined because, well, they didn't retweet my tweet, or they didn't heart my post. Well, who cares? Like, in the grand scheme of things, nobody really cares, and basketball and life in general is a production-based business, and you either produce and you grow in your career, or whether you're a player or in your business career, or whatever it is you choose to do, or you don't. And you've got to be able to learn how to navigate those things. And that's where I think athletics is the greatest teaching tool there is because you get to a high enough level in athletics, you're going to get hit with adversity. You're going to fail, you're going to lose. And you've got to be able to accept that and learn and grow from it. You can't always run from it.
Tell me about having Jamal Meeks on the staff, what that's been like. First of all, how did you guys come together? Because Jamal was played before you in the late 80s, early 90s, and you came along later. How did you guys get together?
Well, I think, Jamal would come back around the program, and I think that was something that was really cool. At least, me personally, I loved, whether you're coming to a timeout or running out of the tunnel, or a practice on a Tuesday, having the former players back, and I thought Coach and I did a great job of keeping those guys connected, and they were always around. And so that's when I first got to know him, was when I was a player and he was back. And then, we've kept in touch, and he was into coaching, and he's unbelievable to have around. The guy never has a bad day. Even the day he had a heart attack and put a big scare in us, he never has a bad day. He's got a really good way with the players. Tons and tons of energy on a daily basis. And he's a great guy that you can't help but pick up his energy and feed off his energy a little bit every day. And like I said, when he gave us a hell of a scare, but it's great. Yeah, and you could tell, like, his relationship with the players when I had to, sit in the locker room and explain to those guys, what had happened to Jamal, and their reaction. Like, it bothered them, and you can't fake that type of raw emotion. And so it was good when he came back, and he had to take it slow for a little bit, but he's doing great and makes a huge impact on our program on a daily basis.
Yeah, and talk about having. I think of him and you guys kind of remind me of the same. Todd Leary, we on the show last night from doing a game, talked about Jamal, and when he played, he was one of the tough guys that they got their toughness from, and it didn't matter who you were, how big you were. And I remember you were the similar type player as well. So that has to be something that your players are very fortunate to get it from two different guys like that. But how are you guys different, similar as coaches?
I mean, yes and no. I think like, you don't want to have your staff full of guys that are just like you.
Right.
I want guys on my staff that, you know, cover my blind spots. But guys that look at basketball and look at this opportunity for these younger guys, and have an appreciation for it in the same way that I do. And I think we have that with the staff that we have. And you know, like I always say the worst thing that could ever be said about a basketball player, in my opinion, is that he's soft. Like if you want to argue that I couldn't go right or Jamal couldn't shoot or whatever, like we can discuss that. It doesn't matter. But there's not too many people that could say that myself or Jamal Meeks didn't play hard, and I think that, you know, that can carry over. Like you can get by, with some toughness and guys that just love the game and love to compete. You know, if you love to compete, you hate to lose. Like you're gonna play your ass off in a way that you're gonna do everything you can to try to win. And I think you see that in college basketball on a nightly basis. You know, you see some teams that beat teams that have perceived more talent. You know, they compete harder, they play harder, they play smarter. You know, it just means more. And you know, we want to build a roster here and a basketball team here that has talented players, but also has respect for the game, and wants to put winning above anything else.
Michael, I cannot thank you enough, man. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Congratulations on how things are going right now, and I hope they continue to go in those winning ways.
Well, I appreciate it. We've created a little noise here to start with, but you know, like I said, we got a dose of reality the other night. I think our guys will learn and grow from that. And we're just, you know, we played 16 games with the halfway point. And you know, we hope with our best basketballs in front of us, and we can continue to make the people around here excited about our program.
I'm sure that will be the case, and we look forward to hearing more about it. And we're going to try to talk to Jamal here sometime soon in the near future to see what it's like to coach under Michael Lewis. Can you imagine having coached under Michael Lewis and Bob Knight? Wow, he's got both of those covered. I'll have to think of something for you to fit under, but I can't thank you enough, man. It's always fun talking to you, and it's a blast seeing how things are going for you.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you.